Hello, everyone. My name is Kyle Brown, and I'm here today to present the Cloud Foundation short series on core software installation for Windows. Right into the overview. So in this short video, I'm going to be covering just the Windows installation, as well as I'll show you how to check your OS and see what sort of bit operating system you have for Windows. And then I'll also just show you how to access the Windows Smart Screen, just for those depending on what system or hardware you have, if you are receiving errors and you are not able to download the software correctly. And then I'll just take you step by step on how to install Python, Git, Docker, Vagrant, VirtualBox from our Udacity My Course login. We'll get right into it. So we'll start by checking our OS. Just go down to our search box here. About. See about your PC. It's a 32-bit operating system, so it's a little bit older computer. So we'll just kind of show you from there. For the Windows Smart Screen, just in case if you are having errors or not unable to download the software in that, because some Windows versions, the software may not be recognized, the name might not be recognized, or the version may not be recognized. So just to prevent that, you can go ahead and just type in Windows Security. It should automatically go for us. Then we can go to the app and browser. Reputation-based protection. And then when we have this smart screen, we can just shut it off. And then once we download our software, we can turn it back on. So we can just leave it shut off just for the purposes of this demo. Okay, let's go to our Udacity course. So we'll go to, for the begin with, I'm in the lesson 1, Introduction to the Cloud Native Foundation Fundamentals. So we can go ahead, we'll start with the very first, we'll download Python. Since I am using a 32-bit operating system, I just want to make sure that I download the right version for my computer. So I'm going to go to the Windows here and see the most recently stable 32-bit version. We'll download just the installer. Install. Up to install the exe. And then we want to add the path. Install now. And since, oh, it is moving pretty quick, I was going to say, oh, we'll give it a few seconds here. If it does take a little bit longer, I'll go ahead and pause it. It seems to be moving fairly quickly. I'll go ahead and pause it until it's downloaded. Okay, so now the downloading is completed. You see it's completely successful. So we'll go ahead and close it. And then we'll go ahead and just cancel this. There, we can go ahead and just type in CMD to make sure that the Python was installed correctly. And we do that from there. We just type in Python -- version. Oh, and you see that Python 3.9 is installed. Just a quick note as well about installing a 32-bit system. That's why I suspect that the majority of students may be having trouble installing it, just because they might be unfamiliar with their operating system, and that being 64 or 32. If you do have a 64-bit operating system, you just go to the main page here. You don't need to go and download the individual for the latest updates, or you would just download from here. For the latest version of Windows, if you had your 64-bit operating system. So that was just a note to just to point out. So what we did have, and we'll just look at it again. Okay, so we do have Python installed. So we can go and check that off the list now. 1. Okay, we'll go and download. We'll Git using the instruction provided in the Git documentation. So we'll just go here, go to Windows, and we will choose ours is the 32-bit. Go. Downloading the installer now. Go ahead and just pause this. Okay, now that the installer is done, let's go ahead and open it up. Get installed into our computer. So, and this right here is when the Windows Smart Screen may give you an issue. So we already kind of bypassed it. So we'll go ahead and just install it anyways. Next, install it. Yes. And you can just select all the default selections all the way through. We'll just wait till it's done. I'll take pause until it comes back. Okay, so Git has finished downloading, and we'll go ahead and just close it out now. We'll go ahead and make sure that it did install properly. We'll just type in Git. See Git bash comes up as it's going to connect to the server. Oh, and it already did. So we can go ahead and just type same thing, Git dash version. And you see we have version 2.332.0. So, all right, we do have Git installed now. Close this out. Okay, let's install Docker. Instead of from the documentation, since we already installed Python in that, what I'm going to do is go from the command line. We'll go CMD, and then we're just going to install it using pip in it. And pip is just a Python Python package manager, installation manager. So we're just going to pip install Docker and pip install Docker. And basically, Docker or Python has a library for the Docker Engine API, and this executes within a Python application, such as run container, manage containers, stream logs, and manage images. So you see, successfully, we do have Docker installed. So we can go ahead. The Vagrant. Let's install Vagrant from the page. Let's see, Windows. Make sure it's Windows and the 32-bit. We'll go ahead and pause it while it downloads the installer. Okay, so now that Vagrant, we have the Vagrant installer installed, but also just want to point out that we did download the 32-bit system for the 32-bit software. If you had 64-bit, you just downloaded 64-bit. So, okay, we'll go ahead and open up the installer. And then we can let Vagrant compute the space requirements. But it should just essentially follow the same steps as before. Just we are just going to pick all the defaults, make sure we accept the terms and conditions. Located in the C drive, and it should give us secured administrator secured access. just running a little bit slow. I know I chose this particular system, dug it out just because I figured that the students that may have been trouble, downloading the software may just had a misunderstanding with their operating system. So yeah, I think as we'll wait, I'll go ahead and just pause it now because it may take just even a few minutes for me to access the administrator screen. Here we go. It should open up. And then just click yes. But I guess we can just wait a second before it does. And my computer this is just the most very, very, oh, there we go. Yep, we do want to accept it. It's going to compute the space requirements now and go ahead and install the software directly onto our hard drive. Now, with this being said, Annette, this is a much, much older computer, so that's why I kind of chose this one. So kind of make it generalized for, the most commodity of hardware that you can possibly get. That is quite old, Annette. So if I can get everything installed on this particular computer and demo it to you guys, I'm sure that everybody should be able, especially from the Windows side, should at least get a good understanding. And then even if you do have any sort of issues that do follow up with it, it should just be able to Google it, and it should be fairly easy to navigate to at least get the software installation. So that being said, I'll go ahead and just pause it now while it finishes it up, installing the software. So. Okay, so Vagrant finished completing downloading, so we'll go ahead and just finish it up. Finish. And it wants us to restart the system and that's for it to take effect. And don't forget to restart it. We are not going to restart it now. We're going to manually restart it later because so we can finish up this video. So, but don't forget to restart the software. Okay, so we can go over here. We'll check off Vagrant now. Let's reload. Pause it while it reloads. Okay, so we got our My Classroom loaded back up from Udacity. So Vagrant took a little bit longer to install than expected, which kind of slowed up my browser. So that's okay. So we got the Vagrant checked off. We'll go down to the very last one, which is just we're going to install the VirtualBox, and this should kind of complete everything. So for the most part, we're going to go down here to the one. Or no, instead of if you did have the 64-bit system, you would just go to the Windows host. For us with the 32-bit systems in that, we want to do the 5.2 builds. So we're going to select the 5.2 builds. And we're going to go to the Windows host right here from the most recent release. And from there, we're going to download the Win version. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause it while the installer downloads. Okay, so now we got the VirtualBox EXE downloaded. Let's go ahead and open up and install the software. Install VirtualBox and complete the lesson 1 fundamentals, Cloud Native fundamentals. Should bring us to our screen again. Install it anyways. Let's install this. Once again, my computer's just moving a little bit slow. I know I'm used to this, something a little bit more quicker, so I want to click, and go. So as we wait for the process, yeah, this is the final last step. And once again, this is the 32-bit version for the VirtualBox. We are going to select and just same thing. We're going to for this particular and just select all the default. Yes, install. Okay, so while this installs in that, there we go. Administrator, and we pause it one last time for the VirtualBox to install completely. Okay, so we have VirtualBox installed now, completed, so we can just finish it up. This time we'll just leave it on just to show that it did get installed, which it should just pop up. And while it's processing that, we'll go ahead and just over here, click our last, yeah, and it completes it. It didn't, it should be opening up now. Select it. matter what. There we go. It's opened up. So there we go. VirtualBox is installed. All the software is installed and been prepared to do this assignment. So I'd like to thank you very much for taking part and for observing. So I hope this helps you out, especially to get everything together. And thank you and have a good day.